Okay, screw it. We'll just try and skip over that. Oh yeah, I love when things work out perfectly. I can't even tell if you guys can hear me now, so because I've got audio coming out, but is it actually going out? Oh, you hear me. Excellent. Very happy to hear that. How we doing, y'all? Oh, bloody hell. What an absolute morning. Yeah, so aside from the usual stream that was supposed to be at about 4 o'clock, computer overnight decided it'd be a good time to do an update. The NVIDIA graphics update decided that it would break everything to do with OBS. So, and I'm still not happy being 100% on StreamYard, because I do like the graphics, I do like the extra little bits and pieces that we get from the videos here. And thank you very much to Xcoma for the 5 gifted memberships, going to Jim Gerard, Sleazy, Brain Free Zone, Jensen, and Adriana. Congratulations. Okay, how are we doing, everybody? It's been a bit of a weekend. There's been a lot to digest, frankly. But what I decided to do today was take a slow and easy pace and look at the 4-day work week, because apparently you guys over in the US have been trialing it, as has the as has the UK, and I'm starting to think that it might not be a bad idea to implement that here with my office. So I'd be interested to actually see what the research says and get your opinion on it too. So, Super HD Hayden is weird. Oh, geez, you can actually even see the pimple on the thing with the ingrown hair. That sucks. But yeah, so this is effectively what the video is going to look like now. I do have the new camera pieces showing up sometime on... they're supposed to be sending them Wednesday, so I should have them by Friday. So things are going to get even more HD. So... 4 days, I do 6 days only because I'm a glutton for punishment. Looks like your mic's behind you. Really into that filter or sort of psychedelic, but it works. We focus on your face more. Okay, that's fine. Research says it's not a bad thing as far as I know. No more trinkets in the background. No, guys, I can pick and choose to whether or not you guys see the trinkets or not. You just don't, because I'm that zoomed in, you don't see the ones that are over the... Oh, I mean, you can see the ones there, the Gundam and that sort of thing, but I think this kind of suits a little bit better, frankly. I look nice? Thank you very much, Rose. I appreciate that. Not harassing you, motivating? Of course, Stingy. Wait a second. Where is the... Chat overlay is gone. Chat overlay browser source is supposed to be right there. That should be bringing up chat, so why is it not? What have I done in the background? Yeah, no, that should be working. Oh, because it's there as a browser source, not as a scene. That's what I've done wrong there. Okay. I accidentally deleted the chat overlay scene. So give me 2 seconds, guys. I just want to put the chat back, because that... Honestly, all the screwing around that I did this morning, trying to get everything working. And... chat overlay. Add... Nope, don't want to move that. I want to move the chat overlay screen. There it is. That's a lot better. Like the light in the back. Hope your day's going well. Thank you very much. So the lights, for anyone that doesn't know, they've been there for like the last 2 months. They've been there since Christmas. But they just didn't quite pop, shall we say. So, actually, I'm even just going to move the camera down in terms of... because the alert box and everything is behind it as well. So there we go. So there's the... that was the other issue. Nope. Move the chat overlay. When is it not an Aussie Overlaw'd stream if there isn't a little bit of booming? I'll be right with you guys. Just give me 2 seconds. There we go. Much better. No point in me doing all this if I don't have the little graphics and shit, so... There's a light. It's pink. Yeah. I have an owl back there. No, that is a fairy penguin who is a so that's part of the Australiana like Aussie animals with jobs. I actually got a whole bunch of those to send over to the other law tutors. I've got a wombat over there that's a well, he's a digger, so he's a in the army. But no, it's been... I've actually been meaning to send those across. Making meatloaf showing me the reasons I hate real cooking. I'm sorry to hear that. Is it a penguin? Yes, it is a penguin. Oh yeah, by all means, people, please remember to like. That'd be very much appreciated. Good to see you, Eva, too. How freaking cool? Well, I like to think so. I'm just annoyed that the... Actually, I might even see if I can... Marlarko just gifted 5 Aussie memberships as well. Thank you so much. Chris Rowland, Catherine Williams, To Be Flair, and Marlo B got them, as well as Timothy Harrison. There you go. I have my boyfriend on mute while I'm typing in chat. Villain arc. I might just see if I can take the zoom off slightly. Oh, even unless I really zoom it out, you still don't... Okay, that's way too zoomed out. Okay, never mind. Never minds. Ooh, too far. Too far. Okay. So yeah. So let's get stuck into it, shall we? Hopefully all this is still working. Okay. No idea why that video didn't work before. Hopefully that shouldn't be an issue in the future. Okay, so Laramie County School District, according to KGBAM, they did a poll to see whether or not it would be appropriate for there to be... That's just going to keep going off on my ear. Thank you very much for everyone that gifted memberships. What does the wifey think of the facial hair? She hates it. She always has, always will. Found a quarter on the ground, didn't bother to look for the original owner. Ooh, look out. Look out, people. We got a badass over here. Okay, the Laramie County School District Calendar Committee is asking district parents about the idea of going to a 4-day school week. The question was part of a survey about the district calendar. The survey covers topics such as spring break, Christmas break, what time school should start, and similar topics. We found the idea of a 4-day school week especially interesting. The 4-day week is not a new idea in education, and not even in the Laramie County. The County District School 2 has been on a 4-day week schedule for quite some time. With most of the ideas... Hang on, I'm going to bring this across here. There we go. Oh, now I can't see everything. Damn it, OBS. I have 3 screens and I still don't have enough screens. With most of the ideas related to education, the concept has supporters and detractors, as well as folks' mixed feelings. Supporters of the 4-day weeks with a country typically around the country typically point out such things as it saves schools money, since they have some of the costs of operating. They save some of the costs of operating 5 days a week. It worked well for athletics and extracurricular activities, since they can be scheduled for Fridays, causing less conflict with scheduled classes. Personal appointments for students and staff can be scheduled for Fridays, again removing conflicts. Longer class schedules for a 4-day week saves parents from having to arrange for childcare between the school time. Okay, so they're talking about bringing it down to 4 days a week, but extending the class. Most students are illiterate these days. What does 1 day matter? It's a good question. See, when I was looking at it, I was thinking that what we would do was break up the days so that we have Wednesdays off. Like, instead of having a 3-day gap and then a 4-day gap, have it as 2 and 2, and then you've got the break in between, so that if there's something you desperately need, or if someone at work needs a mental health day or whatever, just to break up the drudgery, instead of having 5 full days of heavy work, really. Because I have had people in the past that have decided to actually come in on Saturdays instead and split up the day. So, yeah, look, Fridays are all well and good. No Mondays, but then Tuesday just becomes the new Monday. And then Garfield has to start hating Tuesdays. Some argue that a 3-day weekend interrupts learning and is especially challenging for at-risk students. That's kind of why I think it's more appropriate to split it up as opposed to having it in a block. Longer school day is too much for some younger children in particular. In the real world, it saves schools little or no money because the buildings are still open on Fridays, even if it's for athletics and extra classes as opposed to regular classes. So that's basically one students. Yeah. Hang on, what do we got? Used to work 7 on, 7 off. Okay. Voice with Mighty Meat, he says hi to everyone and he misses you all. I haven't spoken to him in a little while. So it's been like a whole 24 hours, but say hi for me. Maybe have Wednesday be a makeup day, no teaching. Yeah, that could work too. Do kids really learn better after 5 days though? By Friday, I was mentally fried for material and that had just been repeated and drilled into my brain, not actually taught, depending on the teachers. Yeah, no, and Ava, that's damn it. That's really the reason why I think it's probably worth looking at is that if you have such long slabs of like such a chunk of like education going in at the same time, there are going to be kids that are going to get burnt out, particularly in the like sophomore or what we call VCE years here, where it's, you know, penultimate and ultimate years, where what we call year 11 and 12, basically. They're the ones where kids are literally like stressed to the point where they consider suicide and things like that. Oh wow, I just used the S word. I wasn't supposed to. Sorry, they consider unaliving themselves in Minecraft because of how stressful it is. My mother is a teacher, never had a break from school. That sucks. D. Linda, thank you very much over on Rumble. Very much appreciate you being there. Retired here, but have gaming meetings 3 times a month to keep me alive. There's sometimes that I don't speak out loud for days at a time. Sounds sad when I put it in writing. I want creators. Paula Williams, you are always welcome here. He says it's been over 24 hours. What a bitch. Has it been over 24 hours? Oh, look, it may well have been over 24 hours. But if he's having withdrawals from me that badly, he could have just messaged me. I think high school should be more like college. I'm inclined to agree with you on that. Hello, I'm not Obama. Good to see you. Didn't get a notice tossing YouTube. Well, to be fair, unless I put out the notices about a half hour beforehand, they don't actually send out the ones that tell you that I'm live. That's why I put one out on Twitter and put an actual post out on YouTube. Feel like it's working fine. They will still have to go to school the same amount of hours. Yeah, look, that's true, because we're talking about elongating the day so that the additional hours are. Weak willed fuckers waiting till they're sophomores. Wild red, that's not nice. Okay, but anyway, let's get into what it's looking like here. So the 4-day week's gaining popularity in the US. Garfield hates Mondays, but honestly, who doesn't? Fortunately for the students and teachers in Lathrop, Missouri, they don't have to worry about them at all because school is closed on Mondays. 13 years ago, Lathrop decided to drop Mondays from the school week to deal with both budget pressures and a teacher shortage. Okay, I'm not going to lie, it is pretty terrible and sad that that's why they had to do it initially. That it was because it was a lack of funding for the school and because they couldn't pay the teachers to do 5 days a week. That's not great. Talking about the kids, not the teachers need more time off. You have my number, bitch. Phone calls to both ways. I regret stepping in as the middleman. You did it, Blanders. And Mighty, you little bitch, you knew full well that I was out house hunting yesterday. And I guess that you just go. I guess you're just more addicted to me than I am you. Love how I was able to curate my learning choices in college. We have charter technical high schools that allow you to choose your classes, but that's not standard from where I'm from. Interesting. How long are the class periods there? 2 hours for? Well, let's have a look. Since then, other schools in Missouri followed suit, and the trend seems to be catching on across the US, with over 1,600 schools in 24 states giving Monday the flick. Staff and students welcome the change because, why wouldn't they? Why try and be popularist when writing this sort of shit? Seriously? Oh, yeah, no. Beast Megapint, I should be clear. When I was talking about having the Wednesdays off, that was specifically for work. For the adults. For my firm specifically. That's what I'm considering, is doing that. No, I think it has benefits and it has detractions. Yes, obviously it's going to make it a pain in the ass for parents to try and organise daycare and all that sort of stuff. So for the sake of convenience, yes, it probably would be better if it was a Monday or a Friday. But in my own personal opinion, I believe that for the kids' benefit, I think it would be most beneficial if it was during the week. But, you know, obviously we can't have... You can't always have the same benefit for everybody. So... House hunting, is this the market? No, not to purchase. We're looking at potentially moving rentals. But, I mean, there's only 31,000 houses available across Australia, and we weren't particularly happy with anything we saw, so... Wow, it's almost like my parents only had 6 hours, had school for 6 hours a day. Well... we already have half days on Wednesdays in California, so now we're going to have a 3-day weekend as well. Interesting, okay. Honestly, if my husband and kid come home for an extra day every single week, I might leave. Okay, however, not everyone is a huge fan of the 4-day week. Because the 4-day week was isolated to the school, parents that weren't teachers now had to factor in an additional day of childcare, which was not only tedious but costly. Other critics worried that the shortened week would negatively impact the students' learning, especially after extensive lockdowns. In Australia, we're also facing a teacher shortage, which is sparking a conversation about what we can do to encourage more people to turn to teaching. To turn to teaching. Even doing that, I couldn't keep it. However, don't go filling out that Diploma of Education application just yet. It does not look like they're likely to be adopting the 4-day week anytime soon, if ever. Whilst the 4-day work week might attract teachers to the environment, experts say it wouldn't actually alleviate the workload, and thus the same level of teacher burnout will occur. Yeah, maybe just don't chuck that DipEd application in the bin. Or maybe just do so. So, the solution to the teacher shortage remains a mystery, but what remains clear as day is we all still hate Mondays. Wow, there was next to fucking nothing to that, was there? That's a way to waste 5 minutes, but anyway. How is this going to get them ready for a 8 to 12 hour day, 6 days a week? Okay, well, for starters, it sucks if anyone's actually having to work 6 days a week. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do it anyway because I run a law firm, but that's not the same thing. A 9 to 5 literally should be a 9 to 5. It's just that our economies are both so screwed up that people are having to get second jobs or work extended hours for overtime. Time to grab the pitchforks and rise up, people. Just saying. North Texas is going to start 4 days a week in the fall 2023. Well, there you go. Funny thing is, I learn more outside school than I did in school. You learn what you're interested in. That's very true. That is very true. It's the same thing that I've said plenty of times. I learnt more in the 6 months on the job than I did in my entire law degree. I was at school and an early hour every day, plus 3 hours after school. So what's that? That was like a 9-hour day? Sounds about right. Teacher shortage, if only they'd keep their hands off the students. Oh, Jesus. Not wrong, but, Hey, Dog Mama. Hello. Working for a charity in the UK, they're considering moving to 4 days because they can't pay the same as professional salaries. That sucks. Should have rose up in 2020, too late now. Pay teachers more if we're invested in schools, if we gave them a better budget that they could work with and an actual voice in the work, they would stay. Yeah, damn straight. Don't hate me, but I think teachers are way, way underpaid. No, Paula, I have always said that teachers are underpaid for what they are doing. I mean, they're literally raising our children to be the next generation, and we severely and significantly undervalue them. Don't get me wrong, they need to be teaching the appropriate material. Certain things need to be kept out of the schools. But if they are actually properly teaching math and English so that people can say ask instead of ax, then yeah, they should very much be properly compensated for doing it. Learning on the job gets you all of the juice practical skills and exposure to trade practices that you can use later. Yes. Teacher unions fuck over a lot, I'll say. While Red also blaming teacher unions. Fair enough. Okay. Wow, I really do say that a lot, don't I? Okay. So, more American schools are switching to the 4-day week. Could Australia follow their lead? It's rare to hear anyone express enthusiasm for Mondays, let alone teenagers, but things are done differently in the small community of Lathrop, Missouri, where the school doesn't start until Tuesday each week. For students, it means every weekend is a long one. For teachers, it can be a chance to take a day off or prepare for the week ahead. 4-day weeks are becoming more popular in Missouri and across the United States as schools grapple with widespread teacher shortages. This is another example of news agencies sharing the answers to the test sheet. Lathrop, whatevs? Okay. That's really frustrating. As the idea spreads, concerns, particularly from parents, are growing. Lathrop was motivated by budget pressures when it decided to introduce the 4-day school week 13 years ago. Scrapping Mondays from the schedule allowed the district to save money in areas like support staff, wages, and transportation costs. But Superintendent Chris Fine said the officials soon noticed that it helped to attract teachers to the rural area. I'll bet it did. We really don't talk about much going in, but really those next couple of years we had more applicants and more quality applicants than we'd had in prior years. So we started attributing to that fact that it was kind of a good bonus for people who wanted to come. Shit.
I'm gonna come.
Local regional journalism is dead. Tell me about it. Laney's right, people. There are 74 people watching, and I can't actually see exactly how many likes, but if you wouldn't mind, that'd be very much appreciated. Not the teacher union, more like politicians and school boards. Gotta go deal with the... Fair enough, Just Cause. Have a good night. Yes, if you're watching and lurking, just throw a wave in the chat. I do like to acknowledge everyone, which admittedly I've done a little bit poorly today, but I am noticing when there's newbies in the chat, or people that we haven't seen in a while, which I've seen that there's at least 3 or 4 of them. So hello to you and welcome back, or welcome for the first time. My husband, 75-year-old, works 7 days a week, goes in on the weekend because he wants to. Some people enjoy working. His salary, so it's not for the money. Interesting. I'm not going to make a joke there, Deanna. I'm just not. But as long as it keeps him going, that's the main thing. I mean, if it keeps him mentally capable and on top of things, then all the more power to him. This is why more and more Americans are homeschooling. Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised. Would love to have a 3-day work week. Skip Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I don't have to be in a meeting at 6:40 a.m. In my state, there's a few school systems trying to get the kids IEPs and 504 basic help for their lives and their education. Kids who need help because of money. Oh, there you go. There's a reason. Like the video, or Australia may just start existing instead of being in a dome in northwest Ohio. Sean, oi, good to see you. Oh, we're at 33 likes. Lovely. Due to the teacher union, you get things like rubber rooms. And do they cost the districts money? Do I even want to know what a rubber room is? How do you judge the quality of a bag that graduated from college? It's a good question. It's whether I suppose to me it's whether or not they can beautifully inappropriate. To me, it's whether or not they can do the job that they're appointed to. See, it was something that I saw. It was either on Twitter or it may even have been on Reddit the other day. And the fact that there are so many jobs out there that are requiring like tertiary education and degrees for jobs that just do not require them, it's completely... Oh, we have a new super chat, thank you. It's just completely and utterly a cash cow for the education system, which is unnecessary. People should just be able to get out there and do the jobs that they're qualified to do, or learn on the job. Go to TAFE, go to a trade school, go to... so, total about 4-day week. Spent 2 years driving an airport shuttle bus, 4 10-hour days a week, 2 a.m. to noon. It was great. Oh, there you go. That's a new name. Hey, Cat Ninja. Castle Moyle Books. Welcome. Called Aussie earlier, and nobody responded. Oi, oi, oi. Y'all are fake Aussies. Live in the People's Republic. Everything is Dan's fault. I was actually going to ask you, Map Hanger, whether or not you actually lived in Victoria or not. So, good to know. Am I hearing correctly that our new hate day should be Tuesday? If we're lucky. If we're lucky. Actually happy to see you live at this time. Had time to kill while procrastinating going to uni. Oh, there you go, Sparky. If you want to waste it... Holy hell, that's the first time in a while that I've had sex bots in chat. Huh. Celebrating not quitting my job today. Well, you make sure you have a drink on me then. Thank you very much for the super chat. Rubber rooms where someone can't hurt themselves, or for people with mental illness. Are you serious? And they're putting those in schools? Why is that as a necessity? Like, that's mildly terrifying. Actually, I think we've seen some footage of a kid being put in one of those, haven't we? They bounce balls and stuff to work out anger. Problem is people pay way more in tax. It's just so badly spent that people are actively choosing to leave the system and do it themselves. Yeah, well, you can't say I'm surprised by that. Hey, Karina. Teaching's not as easy as people think. No, never said that it was. Alright. Goddaughter was given a ball to throw when she was overwhelmed. Are you serious? They're putting kids in rooms purely just to... Okay. Alright. Before I get too wound up. Okay. Classes run for an extra hour on Tuesdays through Fridays to make up for the missing Monday, meaning overall instructional time has increased slightly compared to when the district had a 5-day week in place. Teachers are required to attend on some Mondays for professional development, but otherwise they can choose how they spend their time. Those Mondays I sleep in, I definitely sleep in, said school history teacher Joe Dutcher. Currently doing the favourite part of my job, invoicing. Yes, I live in meeting people from Republic of Victoria. Whew. Fair enough. Thank you for the super chat. Didn't like the lack of body, prevent him from achieving his dreams. What? What did I miss there? We got Casper, the friendly ghost, doing that. Hey, Jim. What's up, Hayden? Hope you're doing okay. Everything worked out with the issues you ran into. Not all of them have been resolved, but OBS seems to be pulling its weight now. And on the upside, I found this great app that makes my stream cam look a hell of a lot better than it did. So, what's that? It's the start of autumn on Wednesday. Yippee. Damn it. Heater time's rolling around. Oh, wow. We've had people coming from Viva Barnes. Really? Wow. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Got a mini raid? Viva Barnes raid. I actually got a raid from Viva Barnes. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Holy cow. 75 and feels like it keeps him sharp, but always been that way. He's from Norway. His dad was the same. Oh, fair enough. Not those rubber rooms. Google New York City rubber rooms. They're rooms for teachers with misconduct who can't be around kids and they can't fire them. I'm sorry, what? The teachers that legitimately are unable to fulfill their duties as a teacher, but they're unable to fire them? How the hell did that happen? Is that what you mean when you're talking about the teachers' unions? Bloody hell. Kids' chill out room at a school is called the Butterfly Room. Person charged with hiring. I prefer to hire someone on the job experience versus higher education experience. Abso-freaking-lutely. Believe in you can achieve, even if you're just a floating head. Would Silver Public School put my kid in a padded room? Most of them were decommissioned in the 70s and 80s. I should bloody well hope so. That is thanks to the teachers' unions. Jesus. Typing in my block wouldn't disappear fast enough. Sometimes lurking is better. Oh, fair enough. It's socialism wonderful. Well, look, Map Hanger, even you have to admit that, you know, up until recently, Medicare was slightly better in terms of, like, I don't know. Because the trouble is, guys, we've literally just reached the point where Lady Overlaw'd and I have to actually decide what we're going to do with little Lady Overlaw'd, because she's coming up to the big 5, and we have to decide where we're going to enroll her in school. Now, that's actually the main reason that we were house hunting, is because we're not in the school district as where her daycare is, and all of her friends are going to be going to the school there. So for us, it's like, well, do we want to put her in private school? Do we want to put her in the local public school? Do we want to move completely out of the area? School district shopping, yeah, basically. See, the trouble is that one of the local public schools has a really, really good reputation. It's like in the top 10 in the state, which, you know, may not really matter, given that, you know, it's Victoria, it's Australia, it's whatever you want to think about it. But all I really want is for her to have a good life. And I'm not really sure that it matters for the first few years. I have no problem with certain levels of social democracy, but socialism... yeah, no, I hear you on that, Map Hanger. There are still great public schools? Yes, there are. F1 training classes get her cart license so she doesn't need school. Are they a gender-affirming school? I fucking well doubt it. And see, that's the other thing. Do we want to put her into a religious school where we know none of that shit's going to happen? But then, I mean, there was a religious school where I went to, around the corner from where I went to high school, and that was a religious school, but there were criminal charges because someone was handcuffed to a toilet and beaten by other students. I mean, yes, there's all sorts of... Have to be careful because they're starting indoctrination in kindergarten in some schools. Yeah, that's sort of why I'm being a little bit careful about it. Jacob Castro is in US healthcare. Admin's on the brink of collapse. I can't say I'm shocked by that. Have all Aussies had the umbrella, as I call it? Just going to put that up there so everyone knows what I'm talking about. Look, not everybody. I did at the time have the umbrella, simply because my daughter has breathing difficulties as it is. She has asthma. She gets bronchitis quite badly. I didn't know where the hell this was going, so I agreed to do it for her. So, I'm struggling with my son, senior in high school, not sending him to work university, struggling on what to do with him after high school. So is it literally that every university has gone woke? Apparently YouTube dislikes corporal punishment of educators. Either way, it builds character. Get her forklift certified so she can start paying her share of the rent. Sent you a thing on the Rubber Room on Twitter. Thank you, Stingy. For anyone that doesn't know, Stingy is my government-appointed... I call him a motivator. Most, but not all, but most. Now some beginning to unwoke themselves. Oh, so some of them are pulling their heads out of their asses. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Wow, we got really off topic on this. Teachers require those Mondays to sleep in, but I make sure I have everything ready for the coming week. If there's any grading that I need done, I can get that done on Mondays. University in the US won't even allow conservative speakers. Well, I'm going to disagree with that simply because I went through university and I'm nowhere near that level of bullshit. So, yeah, universities in the US won't even allow conservative... Oh, yeah, I read that. Get your daughter's vitamin D level checked and watch my playlist diet also. Oh, thank you, Embor. Okay. So I'm rolling out of catchment now, otherwise you'll miss out. Yeah, no, we are well aware that we've missed certain deadlines, Karina. That's why the wife and I are sort of freaking out slightly. We've put her on various lists, but Vice is off for a bit of lunch. Not a problem. Thanks for stopping by, Jeff. Skilled trades, he's been making a mint when his friends are drowning in debt. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Alright. The length of time that the 4-day week has been... Oh, damn. What do you know? I have a mile to get stoned without even realising it. This is true, people. Thank you very much, Jim, for utilising your legal intern 1 month milestone. Enjoy that. Length of time that the 4-day work week has been in place in Lathrop means many of the district students have never known any other system. I came here from a school that went 5 days a week, so when I moved here, it was a little hard to get used to, said 16-year-old Jessie Moore. But as I got older, I started to appreciate the extra day we got. It gives you an extra day to work on projects that you get on Friday. It has allowed us to get bigger assignments that were more informative than what that we could learn from. That's the other thing. If they took it and made it so that it was like independent learning, that's the other way that they could potentially do it as well. I mean, when I was in, I think it was either year 8 or year 9, we had a specific class called independent study, and you had to come up with your own topic. You had to come up with your own idea, your own presentation, and you had 3 months. You had one. Was it 3 months? 12 weeks. And then you had to make a presentation, and you made it to the entirety of the rest of the year level, as well as all of the teachers from all the different faculties. And I think I learnt more in that about a very particular topic that I was interested in, and it guided me into what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I think that is a brilliant way to do it. Now, if they were to take that extra day and use that, I think that would be great. What was that? Some rando. Hello. Thank you to the 102 of you now watching on YouTube. Very much appreciate that. My state, they have a trade school, but they're hard to get into. That sucks. No, not on a list. You need to fill out enrollment forms now. Trust me. Yeah, no, I know. Trust me, I know. Hey, Raiders, be kind and hit the like and subscribe. And guys, if you are a regular member, just make sure you know what sort of fuckery I've been dealing with Susan lately. If you wouldn't mind just double checking that you are still subscribed. But we are gradually making our way up. I may actually hit 10k by the end of this upcoming trial. Which I am going to start. So tomorrow I'll still have the XXX Tentacion running for the day. I will, however, be switching between that and jury selection on the next trial. Which for a split second there, it just went out my brain because this is the third time for a different trial. The guy that killed his ex's new partner. So that's going to be interesting. For my youngest, I was out of catchment for 4 great schools, enrolled her in 4, got accepted to 2 of them. Really? Cool. And that dropped. Independent study wouldn't work for you. Fair enough. I'm very glad we got a new trial to follow up to, honestly, because the, I don't want to call it the gangbanger trial, but that's really what it is at this point. I feel like people just aren't interested in it. And as racist as it sounds, it does seem to be because it was black on black violence and no one gives a shit. Like, I think that it's important that it should be out there because I feel like showing various aspects of the justice system is important. But it's certainly been buried on YouTube, and I'm sure that's been done by the algorithm deliberately. So, since I've been traveling the XXX trial, my views have plummeted on each of those videos. Roughly 300 people, which I'm fairly confident in my regulars, all watching that. But prior to that, doing these regular shows, my Law News and Laughter shows, was anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 views a day. So I'm fairly confident that it's getting buried. Thinking skilled trade route, but wish knew more about the job options than the standard 5 that you named. Okay. Okay. I'm in Oakland, Colorado. They haven't brought the mandated, but they will never stop the... Oh, God. Autoimmune problems often resolve with vitamin D levels at the upper end of normal rather than lower. Doctors are usually satisfied with it being with the normal end of the lower end of normal. Okay. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, look, Dwayne's not typing in capitals. You okay, dude? God help me, don't have my glasses on. I read that as toilet. Okay. Garrett Pace, still subbed. Lovely, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, the AV cameraman shit show. Still not quite as bad as those opening statements that we listened to this morning, though. Which is ironic. During some class, don't remember which, had to write a review on something going on in the news, so we understood that life was more than just us. Fair enough. Oh, yeah, sorry, allegedly killed. Murder, guilty or not guilty of the jury right now. See, that's the trouble. I genuinely believe that the jury will more than likely find him guilty, but they shouldn't. Because I genuinely believe that their own personal bias is in there. Now, I know Larry's been going on about whether or not there's going to be a hung jury. My gut feeling is saying guilty or a hung jury. I'm leaning towards guilty. Because, I mean, the defense said it on Friday. We've been here for 2 hours and we didn't hear a single word. We didn't hear a single reference to the murder or anything like that, going on about the financial stuff and hammering on that he's a piece of shit and that he just deserves to be in jail for whatever they can throw at him. And you know that they're doing that because they threw in that misdemeanor for contraband. It was a fucking book. God forbid he should be able to read and keep himself from being bored. So no, at this point, by the letter of the law, not guilty. By the morals, ethics, and values of that jury in that area, my opinion is more than likely going to be guilty. Only good thing about school is the socialization skills it builds. Kids could learn way more of themselves on a computer, but they would be introverted autists. Yeah, well, it's not great. So people who are ultimately coerced into a concoction from billion-dollar companies. Yeah, well. I try not to think about that, honestly. Black on black violence doesn't exist in the US, you're not woke enough. I enjoy the Triple X trial because you bring in other non-lawyers like Val and Mighty to see a different aspect. Okay. X trial's probably getting buried by Murta. Everyone's watching that. This is true. Which reminds me, as we start up the new trial, I will still be doing reviews of the Triple X case. It's just that I won't be doing it live. Anyone ask a kid what they want to do with their life, even if they don't know, give them a chance to find a job. Be encouraging, don't demand. This is from our resident mental health practitioner people. So yes, thank you very much for that. So I drive a garbage truck. I've got a lot more to worry about than the Covey. Fair call. Oh, you're on your phone. Okay, fair enough. There's already a Netflix series about murder. I did see that. Isn't that ridiculous? Agreed, but should be not guilty? Yeah, wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Thoughts on Judge Clifton? There is nothing I won't allow Newman. Just to clarify, that's the judge in the murder case, isn't it? Because I have some very strong feelings about that man, and they all end with him being disbarred. One of my best friends is watching this and not talking, so this goes out to him. Induce puberty, let your balls drop, put on your big boy pants, and follow this page, catching Captain Fudge back up. Jesus, Ava. Ava, if this was the friend that was being extraordinarily nice and letting us know how you were the other day, maybe just dial it back slightly. Should be tossed for murder. His financial trial should also be tossed for double jeopardy. Okay. Haven't seen an outcome for the Ben Robert Smith trial. No, and I don't think we will for a little while. Still, Karina. I think it's still probably going to be, I'm thinking end of April, maybe mid-May. Because they are taking their sweet time with that, and you can understand why. I mean, with what he's charged with and the implications that would have for the Australian military, I fully understand why. Yeah, it's the murder judge. Yeah. Biased as all hell, frankly. And as far as I'm concerned, him starting off saying that he didn't want to make appealable issues or anything like that, because it did look like he was bending over backwards to make sure that there were no appealable issues. And he's done nothing but create appealable issues since. All in favour of Alec, honestly. Triple X audio was horrible, that's why I stopped listening. No, that's fair, honestly. I did actually wind up installing a second audio booster, so it has been a little bit better. And I think they sacked the AV guy. Because Friday was a lot better. Homeschool is amazing. Kids don't learn to properly socialise, though. Why? When else in your life are you only with people your own age? True. I just worry sometimes because I see it in teenagers that I work with and stress that because their parents want them to do certain things. Oh no, I wholeheartedly believe that every child should have the opportunity to decide exactly what they want. For example, my daughter is going to have an opportunity to decide exactly which law school she wants to attend. Got to keep the family dynasty going. HBO, Netflix, and Peacock. Best channel for video is Eric Anlin. He lives there, and his videos are extraordinary. Well, there you go. This is how I show love. Okay, Eva. Fair enough. Murder Judge is prime candidate for tar, feather, and rails. You know what I'll be interested to see? What happens when this is all over? If within 3 months he steps down off the bench, I'll be calling some major bullshit. Honestly. Just double check that I haven't missed anything through there, and then we can move on. Because all we've done is talk about the school. We haven't actually talked about whether or not it would be appropriate for work. Okay. Workers report a 4-day work week improves health, finances, and relationships. It simply makes you happy. This was published on Friday. Employers and workers around the world are finding out that there are benefits to a 4-day work week that go well beyond reduced burnout. I've not had coffee at all today. Businesses say that they're seeing improved productivity, morale, and team culture, whereas individuals are reaping benefits for their health, finance, and relationships. Those are the results from a 6-month trial in the UK run by non-profit 4-Day Week Global and think tank Autonomy, which included nearly 3,000 workers at 61 companies and run from June to December 2022. But Dad, I want to drive a forklift. Well, too bad. Pick up your books. Help me file this paperwork. I'll be perfectly honest, I have no idea. Never once looked into it. I would expect not, frankly, at this point. Like, things were bad, but in my own personal interactions with things, it's not as bad as it was. Although I'm sure Map Hanger will be able to give me their own opinion on that. And 2 years from now, they'll be screaming for a 3-day work week. Well, trade is a path to a happy and independent life. It's true. I very nearly became a plumber. That was my backup plan. If I hadn't got the enter score that I needed to get into law school, I would have become a plumber. I was blown away. Very fair and kind. Such a good, thoughtful human. Aussie would love his channel. Okay, I'll have a look then. Oh, I lost my shit when I saw that. When he objected sua sponte, saying that the prosecution should have objected. And it's not even like it was an appropriate objection as well. Oh my god. Isn't it lovely that AH is quiet? I hope the judge throws out a complaint against NY Magic. Yeah, look, she's been very quiet, as has the Commonwealth Prosecutors Department. They were supposed to get back to me 2 weeks ago. I've been chasing them up. I'm a little bit pissed off about that too. Should be quiet till I make her squeal. Seems like the murder judge is doing the same as the Brooks trial judge, using it as 15 minutes of fame. Look for him to run for Supreme Court next. Yeah, I don't know. How many businesses will accept a 4-day work week? That's a damn good question, actually. Late liked and started from the top. Love all the live shows. No worries, Io. Good to see you back. See, this is what happens when I do a later show as well. A whole bunch of people that I haven't seen in ages start filtering in. Plumber's license and electrician's license don't do either, but can at the drop of the hat. Well, there you go. Oh, you're a plumber, by the way. There you go. Since I'm older, single, not kids, I used to work to keep me in commitment. Otherwise, I'd be a drunk and broke all the time. Financial crimes will keep people in jail for the rest of his life. How sad for Maggie and Paul. Charges need to be brought against Buster and cousin Eddie. Wow, Paula has some. Paula coming in with the right hook there. According to Google, master plumbers in the US make up to 309,000. It's probably not the average, but I regret not being a poop jockey now. Like the judge at first, but later not so much. Yeah, I was more or less in the same scenario. I thought that he was okay. I did, and then it just went down the crapper. Small business owner in Melbourne, 50 grand lost in 2020, 50 grand in 2021, 20 grand in 2022, 20 grand a year every year from now on. Why are you going to continue to lose the 20k from now on, though? I should tell you what, Maphammer, if you wouldn't mind just shooting me a DM on Twitter. Wouldn't mind talking at some stage. Almost at 9k subs. Anyone who hasn't, get this being into 9k. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Oh yeah, it was pretty damn biased. Aussie plumber begin Mario music and dress like a kangaroo in a Bowser outfit. Dress the kangaroo in a Bowser outfit. Play the Mortal Kombat. Let's fight. Oh. Buster and Cousin Eddie should be charged based on their stupid names. Love it. What's your take? Parents choosing specific school for a child, let's say sports, music, arts, so from the first grade. Choosing a specific school for your child, look, on the one hand, it can give them a great advantage. On the other hand, I think you're doing them a disservice unless you have taken the time and effort to put them into different programs beforehand. Like, for example, if you have already put your kid through programs for sports, for music, for art, to determine whether or not they're any good at anything or if they have an interest in anything, and you're just choosing for them and throwing them into something that you want them to, you're living vicariously through that child. That is not your life to fuck up. So that's where I sort of feel on that. If you haven't done the research and put in the effort, then no, you don't have the right to do that. Administration doesn't want to work on the fifth day. They have to. Thus the crux. Very cool. Best job is the trade is elevator constructor. They have the best pension and all overtime is double time. They make 400k plus if they want to work, and it's a small union. Really? Clients who went under in regular work disappeared with them. Not on Twitter. I'll send you an email. Okay. Yeah. No. Fair enough. Jay Louie, hello. Paralegal thinking about doing a channel replying to LawTube, like from a snarky work from home paralegal taking orders. What do you think? That could be fun. Actually, that could work really well because it's that whole meme of the whole, when a brand new lawyer tells a 5th or 6th year paralegal that when they want their opinion, they'll ask for it, and you see, like, even the partners cringing. That could be quite interesting, Jay Louie. Stingy's off. What time are we getting you tomorrow? Usual time. I'll be... Oh, God, I've got to be up at 2 a.m. Forgot about that. What the... Okay, camera, I'm down here. I don't know how to get it to reset now. God damn it. There we go. There. Fucking computer's booming on me. Hey, Jacob Castro over on Rumble. Very much appreciate seeing you there. And thank you to the 19 of you watching on Rumble. Holy shit. But yes, usual time for the XXX Tentacion. And we'll be, as I said, we'll be jumping back and forth between that for the other trials, jury selection. Murder judge watches too much Outer Banks. Mm-hmm. New here, what's the topic? Well, we were on the 4-day work week. All of a sudden we've what'd you say? The sentencing's been cut short? Oh, was that today? Completely forgot about it. Yeah, the camera got a little bit possessed there. Doing an impression of potentially criminal. No, that'd be... how do you say J. Lieb gets name? Just shrink and unshrink. Not quite. 100% for school choice and homeschool should be available. Should be able to be one of those choices. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, what time is it? Okay, so it's all right. Business say they're seeing improved productivity, morale, and team culture, whereas individuals are reaping benefits for their health, finances, and relationships. The experiment used a 100-80-100 model. Workers get 100% of their pay for working 80% of the time in exchange for delivering 100% of their usual output. Yes, this is how it should be. This is how I treat it in my firm. I don't care if you work a 9 to 5, if you get all of your work done for the day and you're able to leave at 3, I don't care because you're already producing 9 to 5 worth of the effort. That's literally how I treat my workplace. I have no issues with that. That's why people can come and go as they please, provided the job's getting done. Now, as soon as you fuck up, and if something hits the fan and all of a sudden I'm having to pay, compensation or anything like that, then it's an issue. What? 19 witnesses for the state and 22 witnesses for the defense for Aiden Fuki. Holy shit. But no, The 100-80-100 I wholeheartedly support. 4-day global and autonomy tout the experiment as a resounding success, with 92% of companies saying that they're going to continue with a 4-day week permanently. Of the 5 companies not moving forward, 2 are extending their trials, and 3 are pausing for the moment. What's that? What's the most Aussie male name? Bruce, Ken, Gaza. There's a few. Yes, Jay. I know. I've really got to get tested. Chopper, true. Actually, did you say that Chopper's son was arrested recently? Companies rated their overall experience well, saying business performance and productivity remained high, revenue increased, and turnover dropped. On the employee side, 90% said that they would want to continue with the 4-day week, 55% reported an increase in their availability at work, and 15% said no amount of money would make them go back to a 5-day schedule. Oh, rabbit. That's okay. The Bruce sketch from Monty Python. Yeah. Is Fuki a death penalty trial now? I don't believe so. I mean, he pled guilty, so let's face it, there's no trial to it. But the last I checked, they were still classing him as under the age, so he was not available to them. It's basically, he's getting 25 years to life. Jumping all over the place here. Just double checking that I haven't missed anything funny, hilarious, or otherwise important. Okay, I think we're good. Using extra time for healthy habits. Reduced work stress and extra personal time led to several positive health and well-being outcomes. Lower stress, better mental health, less negativity, more exercise, and an easier time sleeping, according to self-reporting from the trial participants. Results suggest workers with greater control over their time spent it in more meaningful ways like socialising and being with family. A shortened work week could lead to a better gender parity of household work. The time men spent caring for their children increased by more than double that of women. Okay, that is either a brilliant thing or a very sad indictment of how much we get to spend with our children. Because obviously, if blokes are spending significantly less and all of a sudden they're available on a day and you spend a few hours with them, if that's such a huge increase, if it's doubling or whatever, that's actually really disturbing. Tyler Grange, a UK-based environmental consultancy, is one of the employers that decided to keep the 4-day work week as a permanent fixture. The company had been discussing the switch for over 4 years and invested in new technology to make that happen and expedited their plans in order to be part of the 4-day week global trial. I'll come back to this. It's been good for business, the company says. Productivity increased by 22%, job applications are up 88%, absenteeism is down 66%. Yeah, because everyone gets their shit done on the day that they're away. Their carbon footprint is down with people driving less for work, and employees are less tired and happier. The move helps workers feel more connected to the company and each other. Tyler Grange operates in a hybrid environment, but the shortened work week motivates employees to go into the office to make up for the lost social time with colleagues. Some use their Fridays off to socialise with co-workers outside of the workplace or spend time volunteering with partner charities. Workers save on gas money, transit, lunches and childcare with one fewer day on the clock, and the benefits extend far beyond the workplace. Simon Ursel, managing director at Tyler Grange, tells CNBC Make It via email that the positive social outcomes, particularly for working parents, are some of the most important to him. Having a parent or carer available on Friday gives those of our employees with preschool children a major financial boost. It also enriches the lives of the children, being able to enjoy more time with mum or dad. The same goes for the grandparents who we work with, who have an extra day to support their children and grandchildren, bringing with it many social and cost-saving benefits too. Damn, how much more of this is there? Okay. One of the bigger challenges is a leader is making sure employees don't view it as working in the same way on a compressed schedule, Ursel says, but rather seeing it as reduced hours with the objective of being more productive, happier, and more focused. Finding new and efficient solutions to work and giving people more control over their time are big retention boosters. It's my personal opinion that a 4-day week simply makes you happy, so you're better able to cope with the slings and arrows of a very busy and hectic week. Plus, with every weekend being a long weekend, we're all raring to go when we get back to work on Monday morning. 4-day week global wrapped another 6-month trial period across the US and Ireland earlier in 2022, bringing the total number of completed pilot participants to 91 companies, and roughly 3,500 employees. Don't Germans get a 4-day work week? I have no idea, Barbie, actually. Interested to find out. Now, as for the Xbox games, Dog Mama, I can specifically say, being a big Xbox fan myself, I mean, I'm a diehard Halo fan, but that's just me. I mean, there's a lot of criticism over the most recent games. If you can, I don't know, maybe try and see if you can get a copy of Halo 3. Aside from that, if you're looking for a slow-paced game that has a little bit of cartoony element to it, something like Viva Pinata that you can just sort of like take your time at, that's a game where you sort of grow your own garden and animals walk in and then you burst them open and they have candy and stuff fall out of them. Sounds really childish, but it's a good time waster. Let's see what else. Beyond that, it really does depend on what your style is. I mean, if you're playing NES and SNES, you're probably more in terms of platforming. So, I mean, Minecraft's always a good place to start as well if you can stomach it. So, hopefully that helps. My ex spends 4 days a month with her son. I got the rest, not complaining at all. Better for him this way. Hey, Winnie. Fuki's looking at 40 to life. However, his case will be up for review after he served 20 since he was 14 when he committed the crime. Yeah. Still not sure how I feel about that. Woody Harrelson has basketball-sized balls. State of Utah tried it. It caused havoc because there were certain services that massively suffered. Well, look, I can understand that, but were any efforts taken to amend or alter those services that massively suffered? Like, when they knew that it became a problem, did everyone just say, no, fuck it, we're going back to what we're doing? Or did they actively take steps to try and fix it? Is my real question. Because it's what I've said many, many times. We don't make progress without trial and error. We just don't. They feel more connected to the company by being there less. Well, yeah. Nice to see you on. There's usually nothing good on Sunday after Salty Cracker. Oh, well, there you go, chosen one. Well, what time does Salty Cracker finish? Because I'm usually on at the 4:15 mark. Actually, I need to keep track of my time because I'm supposed to be going across to see Jess for game night, and it's just occurred to me that I am not keeping track of the time. Oops. They tried a few steps, but it didn't work well. Damn, that sucks. Well, like I said, trial and error. Husband plays PS4, but I don't like the way the controller feels. No, that's fair. Okay. 4-day work week may keep you broke. Too much time to spend money. I disagree with this article. Well, I mean, my own personal opinion on that would be that time isn't going to necessarily change that. If someone's going to piss away their money that they earn, they're going to do that irrespective of whether or not they've got time to do it or not. I mean, that's the joys of having Amazon and online shopping and shit like that. So, but anyway, I take your point. 4-day work week, 3-week pay schedules. Why anyone would be a drone amazes me. It's a damn good point. All right. So, do you agree with Washington? I'd almost never agree with the Washington Post about anything. But that all the scientists and doctors who got everything wrong for the past few years should be embarrassed, or with me embarrassed inside of a jail cell? See, that's a loaded question, Jim. Simply because if we jailed everyone that ever made a mistake... I mean, here's the thing. Is it a legitimate mistake, or were they deliberately misleading the public? Because it does come down to that whole, argument over one innocent versus 100 guilty, or however the fuck else you want to think about it. If they legitimately thought that they were doing their jobs and that they had legitimate reason, I don't see that as the same as being the soldier following orders argument. I see that as they legitimately thought that they were trying to do something good for the world. Do I think there are very much politicians that should be embarrassed from behind a jail cell? Yes. Abso-friggin-lutely. But if the scientists are just there doing their jobs following the science, because science is science. It's methodology. It's anyway. I think there are a very large number of people that should be behind bars. I do, but not necessarily every one of them. Mail's going to be so slow if we get 4 days a week. That's a good point. Pretty sure that the murders were caused by a conspiracy between the emus and chickens communicating through financial crimes. Quite possibly. Hell no, Washington Post is a sellout. No, well, that's just it. Like I said, I'd be surprised if there was ever anything that I would agree with the Washington Post about ever. What did I miss from Barbie World there? What else is on besides Alex Murdoch? Well, as of tomorrow, I will be continuing my coverage of the XXX Tentacion, which hopefully the audio is going to be a bit better. But we're also going to be covering the jury selection for the... what did Jeff say we were going to call it? Anyway, the jealous jerk-off. I'm going to call him the jealous jerk-off, because, I mean, he bloody well took his daughter with him, which I thought was absolutely pathetic. So, okay. Work from home for about 10 years now, never go back to the office. Fair enough. Logs off Amazon. Sorry about that. We do jail people for causing the death of people, even if it's not on purpose. Yes, that is not the same as that's not what I was saying, okay? Because what you said was doctors and scientists, which is incredibly broad and open-ended. The people that were working for Big Pharma, abso-fucking-lutely, I believe, should be behind bars. The doctors and scientists that genuinely thought that they were just trying to combat something that they intentionally twisted facts, well, yeah. But, I mean, do we tar them all with the same brush is my only question. Jerome Fury, my friend, is a gamer and is teaching himself to game with a computer because he had used a controller for 15 years. What do you prefer or use? People are going to hate me for this. I'm sitting in front of a gaming computer with 3 screens. On my right is my Xbox Project Scorpio. In my lounge room is my Xbox Series X. To my right is my PlayStation 5. I play them all, including the Switch. So, oh shit, that's actually powered on. I don't really have a preference. It's really whatever strikes me at the mood of at any given time. I do find PC, there's a reason that they call it the Master Race. Because I really do enjoy playing the games, and the graphics are significantly better at times. At times. So, you should be behind bars. Luckily, you can't get jailed for thoughts. Oh, look, if we could get jailed for our thoughts, then I don't think there'd be a single one of us that wouldn't be behind bars. Pretty sure everyone's thought about murdering their spouse or boss or anyone in between at this point. Hey, Flux, how you doing? What time I'm in America? So I'm going to start the coverage for Triple X at 9:30 Eastern, because that gives me that little bit of extra time to get a bit more sleep. But I think the jury selection for the other trial starts at 9. Yeah, no. That's the biggest thing for me. No one should have made a goddamn cent off of it. Particularly not when it's the people funding the research and development. There should not be anyone that has a patent over any of that shit, and we should all be able to review and investigate and, like, research all of it without any sort of patent issues being involved or trademark or copyright on it or anything like that. As far as I'm concerned, there shouldn't have been a goddamn cent made off of any of that. Bought a PC last year, can't go back to console now, game at 1440, and my monitors help me see. Well, there you go. Yeah, social media banned people for spreading misinformation that turned out to be true. Yep. Prefer older games like NES, SNES, and Atari VCS. No, fair enough. I've got a Super Nintendo in the lounge room. Had an Atari at one stage, but no, been ages. All right, look, I think we've had enough about the 4-day work week, so let's get into some more interesting stuff, shall we? For example, the pub security guard that grabbed a man by the neck and then threw his limp body on the ground. Chilling footage has been captured at the moment a security guard grabbed a pub goer by the neck and threw his limp body face first into the concrete. Hang on, why is this not playing? I'm just going to let that go, so that should still actually play. Okay, warning, the following images may be disturbing or offensive. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not okay. Went from controller to keyboard. There's really no way to go from controller to keyboard. They're different skills. That is true. Your muscle memory with controllers helps in no way whatsoever. Oh, you piece of shit. Security guard has been arrested after his film grabbing a pub grower around the neck, and it was also the way, did you see that he was pushing his head back and like pressing against it as well, cutting off the airflow? Yeah, could have snapped his neck. Anger management, yep. Big, yep. Where did this happen? This happened in Darwin. Been arrested after he was filmed grabbing the pub grower around the neck, then throwing his unconscious body face first onto the concrete in front of stunned onlookers. Confronting footage circulating online shows the moment an altercation broke out between the pair outside the Landmark Gateway pub just east of Darwin in the early hours of Saturday morning. The video shared by the Mango Inquirer shows the 29-year-old getting in the guard's face before the security team member pins him against the wall of the steps. The guard is then seen with his hands around the victim's neck before forcing the upper part of his body at about 90 degrees backwards over the wall of the edge of the wall. Witnesses watched in horror as the guard threw the man's limp body down 3 steps, leaving him to face plant on the ground. The incident lasted 12 seconds, with another security guard among the witnesses watching the altercation unfold. Okay. There is clearly a disparity in between size and weight of these guys. Add to that, there is no way that security guard in any way would have felt threatened by the potential assault of that guy getting up in his face. There's no way in hell he's got an argument for this. That is going to easily be... I won't call it aggravated because there's no... If he'd had a taser on his belt, I may have pulled the aggravated. As it is, just going to stay standard assault. I'll be interested to see what the charge sheet on it is, which probably is not here now that I think about it. In a second video which captures the incident from another angle, a third guard appears to stroll towards the man's motionless body before chatting to 2 women who filmed the attack. The security company at the centre of the footage is understood to be Neptune Security Services, who provides assistance in close and personal protection, crowd control, and major events, amongst other areas. We believe the security industry serve, the public and organisations like yours deserve better accountability, and better transparency. True Alpha laughs that shit off. That guy's broken. Could have been a bit of roid rage. Not that it makes a difference, but he's a small dude. Much easier to break him. He had no fat protecting anything. Yeah. What'd the little guy do? Got all up in his face, basically. The picture here is more or less exactly what happened. So, oh, there was never going to be any riots in the streets. Are you kidding me? Sounds like a fuck around and find out moment. Look, it probably was, but he took it way too far. The guard took it way too far. However, stunned viewers of the videos have taken to social media to suggest otherwise, with many labelling the guard's behaviour as disgusting and disturbing. Absolutely disgusting, not acceptable no matter how drunk or annoying a patron was, said one viewer who commented on the post of the video. Another viewer labelled the guard's actions as disgusting, argued that he stepped over the line. The patron is a human being, probably a father, uncle, son, or friend to many. How many lives would be affected by the actions of this coward? It's ironic that you actually get to a point where you need to call someone that is, like, clearly 6 foot a coward. Former security guards also commented on the post, stating that behaviour like this would have landed them in court. I worked security for 15 years, and that way of dealing with the public would put me in court on Monday morning every time. A second added, after 25 years in security, it doesn't matter what happened inside and outside the front doors by the perpetrator. The security person is not in the position to dispense his brand of justice and will not be working security after this, especially if he worked for me. Absolutely. This guy would have had... I guarantee that that this guy would have had some significant issues with his security license after this. Well, white on white doesn't transverse into rights. No, it doesn't. Because, you know, whites are the only ones that you can't be racist against anymore. So, managed pubs in Western Sydney for years, security was way out of line, but I understand. Yeah, look, don't get me wrong. No one wants a little pipsqueak in their face like that. But there were better ways of dealing with that, because the guy was clearly intoxicated. What else do I need here? Hang on. Sorry, it won't be a second. Alright. I'm just going to quickly do this too, so once we get to the end of that, I'll get to that. We apologise for any distress caused to the community and our valued patrons, they said. The safety of our clientele will always remain our number one priority. Northern Territory Police said the victim suffered injuries to his face and later attended a hospital for treatment. Police are aware that footage is circulating on social media and would like to thank the members of the public for reporting the offence. Police would like to speak to anyone who witnessed the incident or who has footage of the assault. A report can be made via Crime Stoppers or on the police line. Licensing NT and Neptune Security Services have been contacted for comment, neither of which would have in any way responded to that. Are you kidding me? Type of stuff that used to happen at clubs multiple times a night in Chicago in the 90s and 2000s. Rough people up, then call an ambo now with camera people to see it. Okay. Alright. And of course, big news for the day. Runkle of the Bailey, nominated for and won Breakout Creator of the Year. Just want to say a quick congratulations to Runkle for his award as Breakout Creator of the Year in the Gundies. Congratulations, Ian. Canadian lawyer who gives legal commentary on case law and news stories about guns, crime, and weapons. Shoots guns in the air. There you go. Just a very quick one, because I was kind of expecting there to be more about the winning, but this is the actual website, and they haven't actually posted anything as of yet that I can see. Categories, volunteer, how it works, contact us, sponsors. Yeah, no. So, Ian, congratulations. Very happy for you, mate. Oh, no, that's back on the 4-day work week, which we don't care about. Okay. Slowly dying. Residents' weird symptoms weeks after train derailment and explosion. So we're back on the East Palestine, Ohio. Ohio man Wade Lovett has been having trouble breathing since the 3rd of February, when the Norfolk South train derailment and I hate how they fucking read these things. Ohio man Wade Lovett's been having trouble breathing since the February 3 Norfolk South train derailment and toxic explosion. In fact, his voice sounds as if he's been inhaling helium. Doctors say I definitely have the chemicals in me, but there's no one in town who can run the toxicology test to find out which ones they are, said Lovett, 40, an auto detailer, to the New York Post, in an extremely high-pitched voice. Hate to be a stickler, but how does a Canadian win a Second Amendment award? Oh, no, hang on. I don't think he won the Second Amendment one. Hang on. Yeah, no, top voices for the Second Amendment. He didn't win that one. He did, however, win Breakout Creator of the Year. Barbie World, glad I found you, Ozzy. Well, thank you, Barbie. Still think they hit the wrong Palestine. Mickey Mouse's article recognises my goddom. Okay. My voice sounds like Mickey Mouse. My normal voice is low. It's hard to breathe, especially at night. My chest hurts so much at night that I feel like I'm drowning. I cough up phlegm a lot. I lost my job because a doctor won't release me to go to work. Holy shit! If you name your town East Palestine, you should have known some shit was coming. Despite his health woes, Mr. Lovett and his fiancée, Tanwin Irwin, 45, spent last Thursday delivering bottled water to locals who have been impacted since a train derailment in the town of East Palestine, Ohio. The incident caused toxic chemicals to be released into the air and immediate sickness and death of animals nearby. Just watching a live, they were removing all of the soil from the public park, but at night, and no one was supposed to see, they barricaded the area. Holy shit. The couple picked up a new case outside a home on East Clark Street, which has become the heart of East Palestine's homegrown campaign to fight back against the forces that upended the lives of roughly 4,700 residents and their animals. Dear God, it was a stupid idea to light that on fire. That should have never happened. Anyone heard from Corn Pope? I saw her this morning. Haven't seen her this evening. Locals are frustrated and furious over what they say has been a lack of real information and help from the local officials and the Biden administration. Last week, East Palestine Mayor Trent Conaway ripped Mr. Biden for heading to the Ukraine for a surprise visit, instead of the scene of the toxic derailment, calling it the biggest slap in the face. Let's be clear, there's no way in hell he was actually in the Ukraine. Let's just clarify that, okay? It's just a coincidence that East Palestine's on the west bank of the Ohio River. Getting up there, Jim. Getting up there. I don't even have the friggin'... Honestly, at some point I'm gonna hear... FBI, open up! Anyway. Dumping toxic materials on the spill from the other states. Okay. Burning off so nobody would know what was being transported. Yeah. Ukraine thing was probably planned for months. That's why Norfolk Southern needs to go bankrupt paying the people who are affected by the spill. Yeah, wait till you see some of these photos. Leading the charge of the fight for the community is 46-year-old Jamie Koza, a lifelong East Palestinian who counts 47 close relatives here. Many of them are facing health issues from the chemical fire, as well as the psychic toll. The psychic toll? Oh, okay, gotcha. Of their town becoming, in the words of a scientist visiting the area on Thursday, the new Love Canal, a reference to the Niagara Falls, New York, a neighbourhood that became a hotbed issue in 1978 because people were getting sick from living above a contaminated waste dump. It's the FBI, Aussie, they're useless, don't worry about them. Look, fair call, but I still don't want my dog shot, although I get that's the ATF. They dumped it in a ditch and set it on fire, so what didn't burn is now in the ground. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really hoping they meant psychological too. Although famed environmental activist Erin Brockovich held a town hall on Friday night, clout chaser! Many locals say the fierce and forceful Miss Koza beat her to the punch. Good. Here you go. Here's the photos of the water. I've known Jamie my whole life and she's very sharp, said Jason Trotsky, 47, lifelong East Palestine resident, told the Post. We're lucky to have her. Brokovich came with her lawyer in tow. Will she help? Maybe. But she's also trying to stay relevant. Jamie will be here for us when the circus leaves town. Mr. Cossa, 46, who's lived in a small Ohio Valley village near the Pennsylvania border for most of her life, has her work cut out for her. I once watched 6 ATF agents get stuck in a freight elevator. Pure comedy. Oh, by the way, I'm well aware that they're watching, so hello, 3-letter agency guys. Good to see you. Nice to be back on the airwaves. I say make kneecapping's great again. Aaron actually brought in specialist. I watched it live. The scientists are helping them test. Oh, okay, cool. Map hanger, I'm not going to bring that up. That's really the only issue that I have on my channel is I don't need that guy directed anywhere near me. So, whilst I'm happy for people to say it in chat, I don't draw attention to that particular issue. That's it. Really. Her eyes filled with tears when she talked about how her 91-year-old widowed grandmother tried to clean the chemicals off of her furniture in the house that she's lived in for 56 years, before giving up and moving to a hotel room where she can't sleep at night. In the end, it'll be like Flint and Hunter Biden laptop and all the other BS. Nothing will be done. Look at the chemicals on that water. Look at the reflection. Actually, I'm going to see if I can blow this up even. Oh, too far. There. That's horrific. It looks like someone's like upended a whole bunch of like bubble solution that my daughter plays with when she goes out the back and blows bubbles with her bubble gun. I just said bubble way too many bubbling times. Mainly because I'm trying to inject a little bit of levity into this, but I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking, and they honestly reckon that they had people go in and drink that? No fucking way do I believe that. Governor of Ohio was refusing federal aid for weeks and now is letting the EPA help. Kid slime, maybe. Drug test all the workers. Fear what will happen in about 10 years now from people's health. Yeah. No wonder they arrested that reporter. Yeah. Oh, too far. Where did I get to? Yep. Evacuation orders were lifted on February 8, but many locals say they still get unexplained rashes and sore throats when they returned home. The creeks that dot the town still ripple with the telltale rainbow colour of contamination if you throw a rock in them. An independent analysis by Texas A&M University of Environmental Protection Agency data, released on Friday, found 9 air pollutants at levels that could raise long-term health concerns in and around East Palestine, apparently contradicting statements made by state and federal regulators that the air there is safe. Have you seen the 3 oil refineries owned by the same company catching on fire on the same day? I had not seen that. Takes the grease out of your way. Yeah, it also kills everything else. Still trust a nuclear plant near me more than I trust train companies. That tells you something, doesn't it? I know, right? Isn't that terrifying? Leave it to the local university. Like, I know Texas A&M's a big one, but leave it to them to actually come in and do the testing on their own and contradict what the men in the lab coat's been saying. My fiance was so sick that I almost took him to the hospital, Miss Kosa told the Post while sitting on the porch of her aunt's home on East Clark Street a few hours before she led her own town hall meeting on Thursday. What's my run time? Okay. Not only am I fighting for my family's life, but I feel like I'm fighting for the whole town's life. When I'm walking around hearing these stories, they're not for the people, they're from my family. They're from my friends that I've grown up with. People are desperate right now, we're dying slowly, they're poisoning us slowly. No, that's the weird thing. It was Texas A&M that came in, as opposed to Ohio State. No, it sure as shit doesn't feel right. Not in the slightest. For totes, tops, sports bras, and more, visit Aussie Overlaw'd's merch store. Yes, for anyone that doesn't know, there are sports bras available, ladies. Feel free to have my logo right there. Though President Donald Trump, Transportation Secretary Pete... I'm just going to say Transportation Secretary Pete. Former US Representative Tulsi Gabbard and Brockovich visited East Palestine in the past week. Ms. Koza and other residents said that they know the media spotlight will fade. She's determined to keep the pressure on once her town becomes old news. Banana hammocks. Makes me sick for the people living there. This is kind of why I want to know where Corn Pope is. Corn Pope, if you're in chat or if you're listening, just throw a wave so we know you're okay. As part of Texas A&M is one of the top agricultural colleges in the country. Excellent. I'm very happy to hear that then, that they're the ones doing the testing. Big part of Jamie and the town's battle involves questions over whether Norfolk Southern's decision to effectively nuke the town with deadly chemicals in what they called a controlled explosion was the correct one. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't. You really fucked up. How many more sound effects can I work into this? Oh yeah, because the CEO was a beta, and everyone was left going, holy shit! And frankly, the rest of the world just had some emotional damage. There you go, I got that out of my system. Or if they were just cheap, it was just cheaper than cleaning up the mess on the ground. A class action suit filed on behalf of hundreds of residents alleged that Norfolk Southern went rogue when it decided to blow up the cargo in 5 train cars that contained deadly vinyl chloride 3 days after the derailment. Notice how they're still only talking about the vinyl chloride. We know that there were 3 other chemicals on that train that were deadly. And there goes the stomach. May you rest in peace. Hello, let's go, Brandon. How you doing? Bowl, the 5th column's been reporting on this and wouldn't be surprised if he does a live to support the charity around there. Okay. If there's anything I can do, let me know. Actually, I'll probably just reach out to him. Bloody not, they screwed up, didn't burn it hot enough. Ooh. So what you're saying, it would have been better if it was hotter? About 1.1 million pounds of toxic vinyl chloride were spilt and later burned, sending thick black plumes of smoke into the air and contaminating soil and water sources, the suit claims. A spokesperson for Norfolk Southern told the Post that the company consulted experts, including Governor Mike DeWine, after discovering 2 days after the crash that the pressure relief devices on the train car had stopped working. He also said that it had to take action in the form of a controlled burn to avoid what the company called a potential catastrophic failure of the cars. Yeah, there were a total of 13 chemicals being transported, 2 of which we still don't know about. The company's decision was very suspicious, said Renee Roker of Morgan & Morgan, a law firm and one of the lead lawyers in the class action. Norfolk Southern discharged more vinyl chloride into a small area in eastern Ohio in a day than the entire industries combined of America discharge in a year. Oh, poor fishy. Ms. Roker said that the state of Ohio has eliminated punitive damages so that the most Norfolk Southern could be ordered to pay the residents of East Palestine would be a total of $350,000. Norfolk Southern countered by saying that it has already shelled out $8 million in aid to the town, including controversial $1,000 checks paid to residents, as well as money for new equipment, a community fund, and the cost of preliminary testing of the town and its residents. The company is worth $51 billion. And they're out there saying that, you know, we're all happy because we've given out $8 million. Yeah, well, exactly what's going to happen when everyone starts dying off. Okay, I can see the viewership starting to dwindle. I can only assume that is because Joe has just gone live. So if anyone's looking for anything better to do, let me know. But, where are we? What they could have done and should have done is remove all the vinyl chloride from the train cars and put them into secure containment vessels. They should then have excavated tons of soil and monitored and remediated the soil and groundwater. Absolutely. Railway company repaired the train tracks, put some gravel on top, and then began running trains 1 day after the so-called controlled explosion. Yeah, they were really fucking fast to get the trains running again. That wasn't about the cleanest or simplest way to do it. They wanted that train track running again. Could this be another another West Taiwan trick? Trying to test ways to destroy us? Well, I didn't used to be so suspicious, but, you know, no, it's fair. Should sue them individually, not in a class action. Oh, he's going over the trial. Okay. Fair enough. What are you doing awake? It's past your bedtime, Flux. True. Civil War era breaks. You train people suck. About time to... What? Where the fuck you been? Not my problem. Several generations of my family worked for on railroads. What do you got to say for yourself then? Let's go, Brandon. Oh, damn, it's 3:50 in the morning? Oh, that sucks. What did I get to? The railway company repaired the train tracks, put some new... Yeah. Miss Cossa and the hundreds of residents of the town hall, organised by Miss Cossa and the River Valley Organising, have not been impressed by the rail company's efforts to help the town, particularly with the $1,000 checks, which several residents told the Post they only got after signing something saying that they would not ask for more. I think this was hushed up because they are buying our railroad for $1.6 billion in Cincinnati. Huh. And it depends on whether or not you keep the quarter beard or not. Oh, that's a bit harsh. I was quite enjoying trying to grow that out, actually. Damn, with the new software, the camera really does look a whole lot better. Okay, so we've got a few people here that reckless behaviour and the conditions. Return of the smunt. G'day, Jeff. Where this ends is the US taxpayer paying to fix all the railroad tracks in the country and companies laughing all the way to the bank, kind of like the banks in 2008. That is bullshit. I don't understand why anyone would even remotely allow that to take place. You guys got to start holding your government more accountable, people. Come on. Do a full beard. I can't do the full beard. If I do the full beard, it turns into a neck beard and I look horrible. Norfolk sent a cleaning company. They aren't even HEPA certified. Adios, AP. Close friend of mine worked for Norfolk Southern. He got out of there fast when he started working on train derailments. No shit. Big pimping has entered the chat. Alright, don't care if you hate me because I beat you up years ago or not, she told the town meeting underneath a big sign that read, "Make Norfolk Southern pay." We have to put all of our differences aside and show the world we are East Palestine strong. We're at war with corporate greed, we need accountability and we need answers. We're here to make our town safe, and by the way, don't tell us we aren't getting sick, that it's all in our head. We are getting sick. Look at the film on that water. Petroleum-based chemicals float on top of the water in Leslie Run Creek in East Palestine. Called corruption, massive donations from these companies to both parties. FYI, BlackRock owns Norfolk Southern. Oh, do they just? There you go, that's new. That's a new piece of information for me, thank you. The former East Palestine gang wars need to be set aside. Do what I do, just trim it in shape along the jawline, wait until it gets longer and softer, trust me, Mrs. Overlaw'd will like it. Okay, I'll give it a shot then. Oh, we're all upset about the Visine trial. That's water. I thought it was an oil painting. Yeah, no, that's water with the oil slick over the top of it. Andrew telling Vices to go to bed. It's the middle of the workday. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go get some lunch soon though. Miss Cossa's hearing included a panel with scientists from the University of Pittsburgh, an environmental lawyer, and a veteran Ohio hazardous materials expert. None of them painted a rosy picture of the town's future. Despite Norfolk Southern's insistence, the area was safe and will be cleaned up and tested more. The experts listened as desperate residents asked about the safety of breastfeeding their babies and getting water from their wells. Planting season is coming up soon. That'll be interesting. That will be interesting to see exactly what happens with the crops this year. One woman cried when she spoke about her worry over her pregnant goats. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. The Dobrum breeder has photos of her well water. It is green, like bright antifreeze green. I had seen that. Three-eyed frogs. Yeah. Stephen Lester, a Harvard-trained toxicologist at the Center of Health and Environment and Justice with 40 years of experience, said that the hot zone in East Palestine was among the most concerning things he's ever seen, and stressed the dangers of the chemical dioxin that were released during the controlled burn and that will be embedded in the soil and the water. Until the government takes it seriously, there are going to be real problems. It's criminal that the EPA didn't come forward with the information about dioxin and start testing for it. Jason Trotsky, a telecom project manager, told the Post he was one of the lucky ones in town. His mortgage is paid off, and he has enough money to move his family to an apartment outside the red zone where his house sits. He, like many others, worries about the people like Shelby Walker and her family who live in a house a few yards from the epicenter of the crash and explosion and cannot afford to move even though they are sick. Two-headed goats coming to a store near you? Quite possibly. Oh, it is beyond criminal. It's disgusting. There you go. It's disgusting. The bad smell comes and goes, Miss Walker said. Yesterday was the first day in probably 3 or 4 days that I could smell anything. I lost my smell and my sense of taste. I had an eye infection in both eyes. I was having respiratory issues like I was out of breath. Other members of my family had eye infections and strep throat. Holy shit. The cleanup crew drives past us at night and won't even look at us. It's like we don't exist. No one has reached out or told us anything. Koza said she's determined to get answers. We're not going to shut up and we're not weak, but we need support. We're here for the long run. Trump came here and then he was gone. What is he going to do for us, really? We're going to do it ourselves and we're organising from the ground up. Too fucking right. And unlike certain areas of mainstream media, I think I, along with certain other elements of the YouTube community, can say we won't be letting this story go. I'm going to be looking for updates for this, and if I haven't seen anything roughly at least once a fortnight, I'm going to be sure as hell asking questions. So, not to mention the fact that we have someone that actually lives in the area, so I can ask him whether or not he's grown a second head as of yet. Okay. Chinese fighter jet confronts a US Navy plane with CNN crew aboard as tensions simmer in the South Taiwanese Sea. Sorry, Southwest Taiwanese Sea. Do you think an elected party with a majority vote should be able to overturn Supreme Court decisions? Yes, but not in the way you're talking about. Because the courts should always be following whatever legislation is put forward by the people. So if a piece of legislation is introduced through the federal or the state governments, then obviously, if that legislation specifically alters or overrules the facts in a case, then absolutely that's what should be being followed, and that should be the only way that the highest court in the land should be overruled, and that is by the decision and the authority of the people. Trump's a private citizen right now. What do you want him to do? It's your fucking government. You should be pissed at. Absolutely. Issues with all that's going on is probably why Biden is not going, because you realise to massive issues they have to be coordinated and what resources are taken away from people like that. Okay. CNN is a joke. But they have footage. What they should do once it actually plays. Oh, it's going to do this to me again. Got to play it like 10 or 12 times before it actually... Southwest Taiwanese Sea. Oh, congratulations, Marty. You finally have a 5-inch penis. I'm struggling as to why that's surprising to him. Tensions are rising. Oh, is there no fucking audio? God damn it. Hang on. Okay, so that's across the board then. So something's gone wrong. Hang on. News page. Audio application. Windows home. Alright, let's try that. It looks like a tool we can infer. Cheers. Okay. Is there sound now? Because if not, I'm going to move on from the video because there's no point. And because no sound? Okay, fuck it. I'm going to have to work out why. Something in OBS is broken. That's annoying. See, the funny thing is, Marty, I trust Flux over you. And Barbie's laughing at me, so... I'm willing to bet that there's no audio. That's annoying. That's really fucking annoying. Alright. Adrian Basham jailed for life for savage murder of estranged wife Samantha Fraser in a Victorian home. After escaping horror family violence at the hands of a partner who had raped her, Samantha Fraser was excited to begin a wonderful new stage of her life. Her birthday on July 22, 2018 was the starting point, and then she was murdered. She pulled into her garage at Cowes on Phillip Island after driving her 3 children to school on July 23. Her estranged husband, Adrian Basham, was lying in wait. He savagely beat her, leaving 41 separate blunt force injuries, tied a noose around her neck and hung her from the garage door, staging her killing as a suicide. Just make aeroplane noises. All you had to do was not kill, it's that easy? Yeah. By any measure, your offending was extremely grave. You invaded the legal and physical sanctity of Fraser's home and subjected her to a savage beating before hanging her, said Justice Taylor. Her last conscious moments would have passed in terror. Basham, now 46, was jailed for life on Monday and ordered to serve at least 30 years. Fraser's family and friends clapped as Basham was led out of his sentencing in the Victorian Supreme Court. Taylor found it was most likely that Basham surprised Fraser as she sat in the driver's seat of her car, having waited more than 2 hours in the garage for her to return home. They met in 2005 and married in 2007. This is why you should always take more than 2 years before you actually, tie the knot with some people. Come on. Feed him to the crocs. That'd be nice. Predators love murdering their estranged exes. Yeah, or their new partners, as we will soon see in this new trial coming up. Tie to the door and then push the garage door button. I would say he probably threw the... Yeah, I know. I was going to make a joke about that. But I thought it was probably going to be in bad taste. Yes. His name is Basham. No, I think what he did was... So the way that garage doors work here is you generally have a single mechanical thing that runs through the middle of the garage that sort of moves the door up and over. I reckon he probably threw the line over that and has hung her off that. Fraser left the relationship in 2017 after years of domineering and controlling behaviour. Oh, fuck off! Give me a second. What's the control under? Auto frame. There it is. I'm gonna be really fucking careful with that. Yeah, the camera has auto tracking. The trouble is it doesn't always track me back. So if I put my arm up like this, or I move like this, or something, it might track, but not always. I was doing my Sean impersonation. Yep. Aussie over Sean. I heard this. That's nice, yeah, Ava. Cameras become AI. Yeah, I should probably turn it off, to be perfectly honest, but I like the zoom. He was charged in August that year with raping her during their marriage, and she was due to give evidence against him a week later. His premeditated murder of Fraser, motivated by his desire to avoid standing trial for rape, was selfish in the extreme and displayed an extraordinary degree of entitlement, Justice Taylor said. Your decision to execute Samantha Fraser, a woman who found the courage to defy you, keep your children safe from you, and live a life free from you, was cold. You determined that her life was expendable, and you had the arrogance to think you would not be caught. She found Basham was unmoved in the face of numerous statements detailing the pain that he caused his own children by killing their mother. Fraser, 38, had told a friend that she was feeling strong and determined to have her voice heard in court. But despite that, she was terrified of him. An intervention order was in place. Fraser's parents had moved in with her to help protect her, and less than 48 hours before her death, she said she was being more vigilant about her safety after he was spotted on the island. The day before she died, she celebrated her birthday. Her previous birthday had been horrible, she told her partner, but in a text to him on the day she died, she revealed this birthday would mark the beginning of a wonderful new stage in her life. Fraser's parents described her as a mother who loved her children fiercely, a mother who was at the very centre of her children's universe. They were 5, 7, and 9 when she died. So that's what, 2, so they're 7, 9, and 11, or... Anyway. Psychotic Teddy 97, hello. Well, we did some articles about the potential for a 4-day work week. We have now just covered the sentencing of a piece of shit. And arrogance, you think it was good old-fashioned stupidity? I'm not so sure. But I can understand your take on that. Now a teen... Oh, so I got that wrong. Her eldest daughter said nothing would compare to the damage that Basham had done to her and her family's lives. You murdered my mum, you took Sammy's life, and in doing so, destroyed many others. If anyone you know requires assistance, make sure you dial 1-800-RESPECT. If you're in immediate danger, remember to call 000. Or if you are from America and you're visiting here in Australia, 911 does still work, or you can call 112 from a mobile. Readers seeking support can contact Lifeline on 13 11 44 or Beyond Blue on 1300 22 4636. He wouldn't have, that's the thing. May not exist there, but he's a monster. Yeah. Mum is savaged online after complaining about a man in a wheelchair refusing to move so she could sit next to her 5-year-old daughter on a bus. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Mapper. Hang on. I'm right there with you. There legitimately are some pieces of shit out there that deserve it. And look, I know that I can get into the argument with Gosney as frequently as people like. I understand his take. I respect him for that. But I genuinely believe that there are certain individuals that forfeit their lives. I legitimately do. For example, if you throw your young daughter off of a bridge, if you drive your young children into a dam and they drown, if you slaughter any number of young children, you get what you deserve. Anyway, Mum is savage online after complaining about a man in a wheelchair refusing to move so she could sit next to her 5-year-old daughter on a bus. A mother was bashed online, metaphorically bashed, online after revealing that she asked a man in a wheelchair to move so she could sit next to her 5-year-old daughter on a bus. Yeah. Wheelchair has a designated spot on a bus. Where does she expect him to go? Oh, of course this was on Reddit. Posting to the Am I the Arsehole Reddit group, the 32-year-old woman explained that her daughter needed to sit next to her for safety reasons, but the wheelchair-bound man refused because he needed space for his chair. I was taken aback and frustrated by the response, she wrote, asking the group online to decide who was in the wrong. Unfortunately for the mother, the overwhelming majority of the members deemed she was at fault. I'm bloody shocked. Don't know, you haven't met my neighbour children. You get what you fucking deserve, Kara the Joker. Isn't that scary that we're starting to like when when Batman and the Joker were first around, it was just like so insane. And I've seen this thing where villains in movies in the last like 20 years, there were certain villains that have made so much fucking sense that the writers and directors have to throw in some absolutely gratuitous and horrific violence so that we as viewers don't side with them. For example, I saw someone made the argument that Killmonger in Black Panther actually made so much sense. There you go, Nissa. Yes, Killmonger made that much sense that they had to throw in him killing his girlfriend. Or there was fucking even Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. She made the point that a woman didn't need to be married in order to be successful and have a life and all that sort of stuff. And they threw that in for the person that, just happened to want to slaughter 101 puppies for a coat. Thanos. Unfortunately, Thanos does make a certain level of sense, but I'd rather not get snapped out of existence. Am I watching the time? I am. Has just started yet? I might be running behind. No, she kills puppies. She can still eat shit. Then again, too much violence and you start siding with the villain, Freddy Krueger syndrome. True. Where are we? I need Jess reloaded just to make sure I'm not running behind. Aussie has Queen of Hearts vibes? Really? Oh, there you go. Oh, she's 100% the arsehole. 4 p.m. Okay, so no, I still got time. Cheers, Shizzy. Yeah, she's absolutely the arsehole. The villain in Thor 3. Which one was Thor 3? Shit. Because what did you have? You had the original Thor, then you had Malekith the... Wait, have I disappeared off the stream again? No, good. Hela was number 3, wasn't she? Yeah, no, Thor Love and Thunder should be Thor 4. Anyway. So what did she say? I, 32 female, was on the bus with my 5-year-old daughter when we got to a busy stop. There were no empty seats available except for one near a person using a wheelchair. I asked the person if they could move their wheelchair to another spot so that my daughter and I could sit together, but the person declined, saying that they needed the space for their mobility device. I was taken aback and frustrated by the response. I explained to them that my daughter was very young and needed to sit next to me for safety reasons, but they still refused to move. I ended up having to stand for the entire ride. Didums! With my daughter in tow, which was uncomfortable and tiring for both of us. So pick her up. She's young enough. You could still carry her. Yes, there is a Thor 4. The villain in Thor is Disney. I like you, Matt Banger. When I told a friend about what had happened, they said I was being insensitive and an ableist. They pointed out that the person in the wheelchair had the right to the space that they needed and that it was unfair of me to ask them to move. Now I'm questioning whether or not I was in the wrong. Yes, you absolutely were in the wrong. Absolutely you were in the wrong. So I'm so sorry your legs were tired from standing. Must be hard when the person in the wheelchair can sit the whole time. You're the arsehole. Yeah. In the Reddit post, which saw more than 2,500 people weigh in, the mother expressed her frustration caused by the man not giving up his spot. I ended up having to stand for the entire ride with the daughter in tow. She added that when she shared the story with friends, they accused her of being insensitive and ableist. They pointed out that the person in the wheelchair had the right to the space that they needed. The comments that had prompted the woman to pose the "Am I the arsehole?" question to Reddit and that now locked the board told their friend's side. One Reddit user sarcastically wrote, "I'm sorry your legs were tired from the standing." Like many others, the user passed the verdict, "You're the arsehole." Another Reddit user poised what others believed would have been a simple solution, that the mother and daughter could just share the one open seat. Your kid can sit on your lap or you can ask someone else to move, the user wrote. Disabled person literally has one spot on the bus that they can be. You are the arsehole. Another user weighed in with a negative lesson for the child, learning from her mother's actions. I feel sorry for this child, the lessons that they are learning. My heart breaks for the child and the potential that this child has to become as much of an arsehole as their parent. Yeah. I'm a Slytherin and a Sith, so what? Okay. See, the irony of it is when you look back at the old lore in Star Wars, like before Disney retconned everything out of existence, Palpatine had a plan for a reason, and yes, he was an asshole that slaughtered the Jedi. But when the extragalactic people, like the extragalactic assholes, were going to come in and fuck everything up, at least the Empire would have been able to put up a fight. So, anyway. That person in the wheelchair did well stand up for themselves. Jesus, flux. Jedi are pedos anyway. Oh, damn it, I'm not supposed to say that word. Fuck it. Some of the best times I had were venturing solos. Okay. British military urged to buy Australian. Okay. Jetstar apologises after passengers were stranded on a plane for 7 hours. Jetstar has apologised to hundreds of passengers who were stranded on an aircraft at Alice Springs Airport for 7 hours. Fuck. For anyone that doesn't know, Alice Springs is right in the middle of the Northern Territory, which is right in the heart of Australia. So, on a hot day, no aircon on that plane? Fuck that. I'm out. And they were there for 7 hours. Flight JQ30 with 320 passengers on board flying from Bangkok to Melbourne on Saturday when it had to be diverted to Alice Springs after a passenger suffered a suspected stroke. When the passenger was taken off at Alice Springs for medical treatment, the Boeing 7878 Dreamliner aircraft was meant to take off and resume its flight to Melbourne. But then an electrical fault was detected, meaning that the second plane had to be flown in. Customers were told that they couldn't leave the plane until after it landed in the Northern Territory because Alice Springs Airport isn't an international airport and lacks the customs and security clearance to facilitate the process of the passengers. That would suck. That sucks. Like, I get that there's a legitimate legal reason for why they've done it, but that still sucks. That sucks balls. Big, salty, chocolatey balls. It left the passengers stuck on the tarmac with limited food and no in-flight entertainment for several hours while they waited for the replacement plane. They eventually were escorted off the plane into a room in the terminal before eventually boarding a replacement plane and touching down in Melbourne after 11 p.m. yesterday. Jetstar said today it apologised to the passengers for the difficult experience, but said that they had to be conscious of safety. Oh, bullshit. Passengers will now be forced to wait until today for their luggage to arrive because there was no equipment to transfer the bags from the Boeing 787. The luggage will instead arrive in Melbourne today on the original plane. Jetstar said it would consider refunds on a case-by-case basis. They could. Wait, unsub to you or unsub to me? Yeah, I know, right? If you're gonna give one, then they should be giving. At the very least, like, work out a proportional amount based on maybe the distance or the amount of time that they had to waste on the tarmac or something like that. Frankly, like, they've still travelled to Australia, they've still made it. Maybe give them like a 40% discount, you know? Jetstar said it would consider 2 passengers, Suda Islam and Zayana Karim, told Today this morning the incident had been an ordeal and that Jetstar could have handled the episode better. You can imagine that there were elderly passengers, little kids, and there were a few babies, Islam said. I would love to make a joke about that being the first time that Islam has given a shit about elderly passengers, little kids, or a few babies, but that would be racist and inappropriate of me. Everyone was getting really antsy, stuck in a closed space. It was getting hotter in the back. It was so unpleasant. Karim said that there had been a lack of communication from the airline. We had to actively go and search them out and ask them what was happening with our flight, what is happening with our flight, and what is happening to our baggage. Babies and parents were among the more than passengers grounded and stuck on board. That's a typo. One passenger, William Kiss, said people were very unhappy. No shit, Sherlock. I wonder why. Even if it was just a walk on the tarmac, people could have gotten some fresh air, he said. We've been sitting on the plane with the flight time included for 14 hours. The report some passengers were escorted off by NT police as tensions boiled over. Dare you criticise the religion of pieces? Well, people were very unhappy. You think? Yeah. Full statement. Safety is always our first priority. We thank passengers for their understanding and apologise to them for their impact on the journey when we had to divert to Alice Springs to support a passenger requiring urgent medical assistance after they experienced a suspected stroke on board. Punctuation, people! BJ Chapo, you would have passed away. Did that chick have a Nirvana shirt on 30 years too late? Really? Did she? Yeah. Although, mind you, they're all the rage at the moment. You can buy, like, secondhand... Well, not secondhand, like, knockoff versions quite easily. Being a domestic airport, Alice Springs does not have the customs processing facilities, and when there was a further delay as a result of the electrical fault while the aircraft was on the ground, we worked with border agencies, the Northern Territory Police and local airport authority, to give passengers an option to disembark to a specifically petitioned section of the airport. We worked with the airport to provide drinks and food. When the replacement aircraft arrived, passengers were transferred directly onto that replacement aircraft, which landed in Melbourne just after 11 p.m. last night. We appreciate that this has been a lengthy delay and apologise to passengers for the difficult experience. We thank passengers for their patience and understanding as we supported the passenger requiring urgent medical assistance and worked to get everyone else on their way as quickly as possible. Compensate for them for the time that they were on the tarmac due to the electrical fault. Like, yes, emergencies happen. There's, vicissitudes of life, the ups and downs, whatever you want to call it. But if they're on that tarmac as a result of your issues with a plane, that's the time period that needs to be compensated. Sold off my original concert tees a few years ago. Got crazy money for them. I don't doubt it. $2,500 per shirt? Damn. This is why I wish I bought more merchandise when I went to the Wiggles concert. That's a joke for anyone that doesn't know. I've been to exactly 2 concerts in my life. Matchbox 20 and the Wiggles. Within 7 hours, customs could have arrived with a portable customs station. Probably. Darwin's not that far from Alice Springs. And Darwin is an international airport, so... Last one, and then we're going to get out of here. Signs boomers could destroy Australia's inflation plan. One generation in particular has hordes of money, and if it's spent, Australia's entire plan to avoid a deep recession could go bust. Since the RBA started raising rates in May last year, Australians have seen the largest relative increase in mortgage interest repayments in the Australian history by an enormous margin. Prior to the current rate rise cycle, the largest increase in interest repayments was 58.5%, which occurred over a 6-year period between 2002 and 2008. In the 9 months since the rate rises began, mortgage holders have seen the interest rates repayments more than double. For those previously on cheap fixed-rate loans, which were written at an average of 2% throughout the 2020 and most of 2021, interest rates have risen by up to 200% when those fixed terms have expired and borrowers have been rolled off onto variable rates. So yeah, people could have been paying $400 or $500 a month. Yeah, now it's closer to $900. Wait, what the fuck am I talking about? A month? Sorry, I meant fortnight. Yet, despite the backdrop of rapidly rising mortgage servicing costs, a peak in inflationary pressures is yet to be confirmed, and consumer spending has remained relatively strong. As things currently stand, there are multiple different versions of Australia unfolding across the nation. In one world, the highly leveraged mortgage holders, for the highly leveraged mortgage holders, things have scarcely ever been more challenging, with near record proportion of household income being directed to servicing debt. In another, the baby boomers and older Gen Xers have managed to amass arguably the largest war chest of household savings in Australian history. But there are other demographics and other factors that could keep inflationary pressures elevated for quite some time to come. I do watch Friendly Geordie's Wicked Monkey. On occasion when the mood suits me, anyway. According to the data from the investment bank, UBS, and the Australian Bureau of Statistics, since the start of the pandemic, Australians aged 65 and over have amassed an additional $141 billion in savings compared to the pre-pandemic trend. It's a similar story for the 55 to 64 demographic, amassing an additional $51 billion compared to the pre-pandemic trend. For younger generations, the experience has been quite different. Yeah, because we're paying all their fucking bills. He's an Australian YouTuber, Ava. The 45 to 54 age demographic has seen a total level of savings fall $43 billion below the pre-pandemic trend. For the savings of those aged 35 to 40, it's been quite the rollercoaster. By mid-2021, the demographic had amassed $38 billion more in savings than pre-levels. But by the end of 2021 to 2022, the demographic had become the only one to have an overall pool of savings reduced, expending $34 billion during the period. It's worth noting that the data only covers up to the end of 2021 and 2022's financial year, so the overwhelming majority of the RBA's rate rises have not been taken into account, nor has the worst in the decline in inflation adjusted household purchasing power. The anti-corruption crusader who only cares about corruption when the Liberal and National Party does it. Yep. Which is why the most recent video that I watched was the one about his house getting burnt down. You'll find, guys, for anyone that's new, for anyone that doesn't know my political persuasion, for the most part, I try and hate all politicians equally. It just makes life so much easier. Ladies, no PP. No, it stands for the Liberal and National parties. It's a coalition between the two conservative parties. Despite the challenges some age demographics have faced, older Australians are sitting on savings to the tune of $190 billion. If a significant portion of this war chest was spent into the broader economy, it would go a long way to cancelling out the impact of rising rates on overall consumer demand in aggregate. Exclaimer, thank you very much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Hey, look at that! They must have updated the app. It's actually showing the sticker now. Oh shit, it's done that again. Hang on, how do I get to... Oh, fuck it. Never mind. Doesn't matter. With the psychological impact of the pandemic still lasting legacy present in the nation's collective consciousness, rising rates and high inflation aren't slamming the brakes on household spending nearly as much as one might think. Despite recent fall in housing prices, the pathway to home ownership for millions of young Australians is arguably tougher than it's been in decades. Amid these challenging conditions, there is anecdotal evidence that members of Gen Y and Gen Z are increasingly focusing on the here and now. Yeah, because they don't feel like they're going to get anywhere and that the world's going to shit anyway, so why not go down in a blaze of glory? I get that completely. So, but anyway. Alright, I'm going to have a quick look, see who else is live, so I can see where to shunt everybody over to. If I'd been able to stick around, I probably would have just sent everyone to Jess's channel, but I don't know that I'm going to have the time because I have to get a little bit of work done and I want to get some lunch. So, guys, would you rather I send you across to Joe? Probably Joe. Because the other alternative that has popped up is Chrissy Mania. Where are we? Australian accent, decades. Sounds like dickheads. Yeah. Alright, that's fine. I'll go for Joe. Make sure you make a hell of a lot of noise when you get across to Joe, okay? Now I've got to fix my camera this time around so I can actually do this properly. There we go. Alrighty. So where are we? And I want to do the final word. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here and try and enjoy a little bit of time on. As always guys, please remember to stay healthy, wealthy and wise. And remember, you yourself are not a piece of shit. You do contribute to society, even if all it is by hitting the like button on this video. I'll catch you on the flip side, and I shall see you later. Keep an eye out for the trial stream. But yeah, I'm going to send you across to Joe, and for God's sakes, make a hell of a lot of noise over there for me, peeps. I very much appreciate it. And where are we? All right. See ya.
Shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Look at you all still sitting here, 71 of yous, all waiting to go over to Joe. Love you all. See ya. Shit, where's the stream at? There it is.